Liverpool fan banned for Evra abuse. Now, this moron, I remember we actually brought this guy up. Yeah, but let's carry on, because Friday, 22nd of June 2012, a Liverpool fan has been given a 4-year banning order after he was found guilty of racially abusing Man United supporters and their club captain Patrice Evra. Philip Gannon, who's 58 years old, was seen on live television doing a racially offensive monkey impression, Liverpool Magistrates Court was told. The incident happened amid a volatile atmosphere at Anfield on January 28th this year when the two sides met in the FA Cup fourth-round clash. Rob Gervin, prosecuting, told the court. Obviously, at the time, it was the first game between the Premier League rivals since the 8-match ban was imposed on Liverpool striker Luis Suarez after the FA found him guilty of racially abusing Patrice Evra. In the 23rd minute of the game, the TV camera panned over fans in the lower centenary stand where Gannon was sitting with two friends, and he was seen to position his hands under his armpits. The coverage, broadcast worldwide via TV, quickly spread across social networking site Twitter, and complaints were made to the police, the court heard. Gannon, who's a carpenter and joiner from Barmouth in North Wales, was found guilty of 2 counts of using abusive or insulting words within the hearing or sight of a person likely to be caused alarm or distress. The bench imposed a 4-year banning order which stops Gannon from attending Liverpool and England games and also bans him from Liverpool City Centre 4 hours before and after a match. Gannon was also fined a total of 180 quid and ordered to pay prosecution costs of 300 quid. Now, do you know what, yeah? A 4-year banning order, really and truly, that should have been a ban for life. In all honesty, it should have been a ban for life. Because at the end of the day, this is the thing. If the powers that be are not imposing strict enough sanctions, then how are you going to expect clubs to take you seriously and fall in line? Just like UEFA financial fair play. If you're not going to impose sanctions, then why should anyone fall in line? And someone's obviously going to come out with, but you could take the moral high ground. There's no morality in football. There's no honour in football. There's no loyalty in football. And there's no morality in football. Clearly. It's all about the mighty buck, fellas. It's called greed. And the buck stops with every single football club. So it's one of them ones. But the fact of the matter is, a 4-year banning order is pretty lenient in all honesty. And prosecution costs of 300 quid and a fine of 180 quid. Now you compare that to something again like last week, last week, and the Pitch Talk rant of the week. Bentner's bothersome briefs and UEFA, which we put up on youtube.com/Pitch Talk. It's a case of you look at these, to coin a phrase, paltry fines being given out, and you wonder why people ain't taking the sanctions seriously. I mean, 480 quid? Oh man, that's not serious. It's not serious at all. But does anyone want to jump in on this?
Yeah, I think I should really just jump in right from the get-go and say, you know what? Although the action it's taken has been paltry, in my personal opinion, and I feel it should be much harsher if you're going to go and, really deter people.
Well, deter the morons like him. Deter the morons like Gannon.
Well, this is it. I mean, I honestly believe, like, in a situation like this, you need to overdo it. Yeah. To get your point across. Now, in the NFL, and I know I'm kind of going over to other sports right now, but in the NFL, there's a big scandal with the New Orleans Saints called Bountygate, and there's a big uproar over the punishments that the commissioner of the NFL, Roger Goodell, has given out to the New Orleans Saints players. There's 4 of them in total, actually, and basically everybody is really upset with how that's been handled. But the reason why that's good is because the punishment's so severe that if anybody was to try and do anything like that again, they know what's coming, if not worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas in this case, it's just like, right, you're going to be taken to court, you're going to pay 400 quid, and you're not going to be allowed to go to watch games for 4 years. That doesn't mean that this person isn't allowed on social media and allowed to share his views.
Yeah, doesn't mean
that this person can't go and meet up in a pub near the ground and share his views with other like-minded fans and instigate something else. All that it means is he won't be allowed in the ground and he has to fork out 400 quid. which, when you think about it, really is not that much at all.
No, of course, Andy won't be allowed in Liverpool City Centre 4 hours before a game and 4 hours after. But it's one of them ones that said these fines are so lenient. But you know what? Yeah, I mean, this is a magistrate's court giving this lenient a fine, and as we've said, it's one of them ones, as we've said before, and as especially you've said, it's an issue that's bigger than football. And it seems like the powers that be just ain't doing it. They just ain't doing it right. So
no, I have to agree with you. You know, as I say, and as I've continued to say, and you guys can go back, check out all the podcasts on iTunes and Podomatic as well. It is an issue that is far bigger than football, and I think it's one of those things. You know, much like I was talking about Roger Goodell and the New Orleans Saints, it's one of those cases where, you know, something excessive in terms of a punishment needs to be given to really act as that deterrent. Because right now, like I say, if most fans know that all they're going to do is go to court, pay the fees for going to court, and, you know, not be allowed to go to games or be in the city centre 4 hours before or after games, really and truly, that's not that big of a punishment. You know, they can still be at home watching the game. They're not going to miss out on anything. They still go buy a shirt. You see what I mean? It's totally different if they had to pay a really hefty fine and then do community service advocating, explaining why what they did was wrong, for example.
No, exactly. I mean, it's one of them was, if you want to weed out the morons of the game, hey, punish harshly, punish uniformly. Castigate one, castigate all.
To be honest, no one should. If it don't really matter what team ever or whatever team you support or play for, you shouldn't be allowed to do that. So really, I think the courts have done it right.
I just think it should. I think it should have been a lot harsher, though. That's the thing. I just think it should.
To be honest, though, you don't go around. You know, I've got to admit, there've been racism around Euros as well with Balotelli. You can like him or lump him, really, to be honest, but you still don't deserve that.